Alright, it's Ben with the DIY Homefront, and this is the second video in my series of probably 3 videos. One for painting the walls, one for accessories, and then one for doing the floor. But this is the second one, the one about putting on the accessories. Now I'm going to put up some etrack, and I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do, and you can choose whether you like it or not, or whether I did a good job or not. Keep watching, let's see how it turns out. Now I have decided to go 2 feet down and put 1 row of track, and 2 feet up from the floor and put 1 row of track. And I figure if I do that, if I have anything tall, I'll be able to strap it down. And if I've got anything short, I can strap it down. And if I've got like a bike or something like that, I can use the lower etrack to get it. Because what I don't want to do at the moment is I don't want to put anything on the floor. I know a lot of people put the etrack on the floor, but I can picture myself loading furniture and things in here and the etrack really becoming something that tear stuff up or in the way. By itself it's not that bad, but by the time you put all the bolts and screws in and hold it, you got some really rough sandpaper there ready to tear up anything of value that gets dragged across it. But enough of that. Now I could do one of 2 things. I could start from the front and work my way back, or start from the back and work my way front. And I think I am going to start from the back and go forward. Now I know I'm going to have to cut a little bit of the wood trim, and I know I'm going to have to cut some etrack off
where it meets the front of the trailer,
because I want to be able to put my strap here and start strapping stuff down right here. Because part of the reason why I bought this trailer is because of a wildfire, and we had to evacuate. And if I'm trying to take anything and everything I own, I want to be able to put it in here and strap it down, and I don't want it to be just in the front or just knee high. Anyway, that's another story. Let's get back to the track.
Now behind the plywood, there's square tubing every 16 inches on center, and I'll mark the wall everywhere there's screws because that's where that framing member should be.
There is a brace right here that goes all the way down, and you'll notice they did not bother to put any of the screws in that are holding the plywood, and that's probably because they've got it farther down. Can you see the screw? That's where they chose to hold down the plywood.
Well, I just want to remind you, on this channel, I'm here to show you how I do things. And if you like it, think about subscribing. Well, I've got my square out, and I'm going to hold it up against the ceiling. And I can use that to go down and mark where the square tubing is, and I need to put the etrack.
So I got the 2 marks I need. I hope that shows up. I've got one right here that's 2 feet down, and one that is dead center of that metal brace. And if this is the start and we go over 16 inches, that would be the next post. And what I've got is I've got metal screws, and I've got ones that are just for the wood. So that's how it will end up being. Metal screw, wood, 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 metal. Wood, 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 metal. And I'll just work my way all the way down. So I'm going to go ahead and start by just using the wood screws to hold the etrack up. So here's my screws, and that's the drill bit I'm going to use, and it's a lot smaller, but it'll make a great pilot hole. And these screws are such that they will not puncture the outside of the cargo trailer.
Now this little drill bit will easily drill through the wood, but it's going to want to stop when it hits that metal, and that's what I'm doing right now. I just was making sure that I had it lined up and I was going to hit metal on those 16 inches on center. Now I'll go ahead and drill a hole for one of my wood screws and get it started just to hold the piece in place. But once I have one screw in, I can just sort of move the etrack around and level it up, and then I can drill all my pilot holes for all the screws and get everything in.
So the screws I bought came with the torque bits, and these are stainless steel.
Now I hung all the etrack the same way. I ended up using 1 or 2 screws to hold it in place, and then I went back with a drill and drilled all my pilot holes and then put in all the screws with my impact driver. Now I set the impact driver up to put the least amount of pressure on these screws because there's not a whole lot of wood there, and I don't want to strip things out. One thing I'm skipping at the moment is the metal screws into the metal framing of the cargo trailer.
I didn't realize how many screws I was going to end up using. I am going to have to order some more screws. So I'll probably only put a couple of screws in on the rest of them, so that way I can get the etrack up.
Well, they covered all the seams of the plywood walls, and I'm going to need to cut this out of the way. So I'll just use a straight edge and trace across where I need to cut it out.
So there's my line. Let's cut this out.
Well, I'm using my DeWalt 20-volt oscillating tool, and it makes quick work of the paneling strips that are here. Now the paint sort of acted like a glue along the edges, so I ended up taking a chisel and sort of tapping it on both sides until I could break the piece all the way out. Now the pieces of etrack that I'm installing are each 5 feet long, so I'm going to end up with about 2.5 pieces of etrack on each wall. So now I'm working on the next piece, and I didn't have to cut it, so I'm just putting it up there, drilling the holes and attaching it to the wall. Well, it looks like I need to cut this to 38 inches, but only on this side because there's a door on the other side. 30 inches divides it perfectly down the center. Let me get a double check one more time. My dad taught me this lesson: measure twice, cut once, measure once, cut twice. And as I thought about that, that's when I realized these 8 pieces weren't going to get both sides, and that I shouldn't cut this. I should keep working to see how far I can get on the other side because there's that door there. Alright, well, I've moved the cargo trailer into the shade to make it a little easier to work on. But the first thing I've got to do is I've got to finish cutting 3 more of those pieces out. I've got one on the bottom here and one high and low that I need to cut here so I can continue to put on the etrack. Just like the top, I'll measure up 2 feet from the bottom and put a mark, and that'll be the bottom of the etrack. I'll mark this with the square, and then I'll use the etrack to see where the top mark needs to be. 5 1/4. So if I make it 5 1/4, I can mark it and draw my line and then get the oscillating tool out. Now I'm basically just repeating the same steps over and over again for all 4 pieces that I need to cut out, where I use the oscillating tool and then I use a chisel. And after that I had a decision to make. Do I just go ahead and put the etrack on, or do I end up taking that other piece off and painting everything so it looks a lot neater and cleaner? Well, if you watch my other videos, you know me. I'm going to try to make it look cool and clean and as good as I can. So I'll take some caulk and fill in each one of the seams in between the 2 pieces of paneling. And then I'll go back with the paint and paint everything white. Unfortunately, it's going to end up taking 2 coats on each one of these. But at least this is latex paint, and the dry time in between coats is relatively short. So it only took about another maybe 1.5 hours, 2 hours to end up with both coats on. Well, this is what it looks like before the second coat of paint, and here you can see what it looks like after the second coat of paint. Well, I didn't have quite enough etrack, so I ended up ordering some more. And it was cheaper just to buy another kit than it was to buy another couple pieces of track. Because all I needed was 2 pieces, but like I said, they were wanting as much for 2 pieces as I could get in a whole nother kit. So that's what I did. I ordered another kit. And I'll leave more information about this kit in the video description. So basically you get 2 hooks, 8 of the straps, 8 of the rings, and 8 pieces of etrack. And I definitely need 2 of them. Well, one thing nice about those cutout sections is it makes it a lot easier to put the etrack up because you only have to hold one end while you get those first couple of screws in. I measured these and I cut them off camera, and I will show you how I cut them. It was surprisingly easy. Well, the top on this side's about done. I'll end up doing the same thing on the bottom. Now in total it took 6 sections of etrack for this one side, and the 2 pieces that were cut off from the end, I'll start with those on the other side. I'm going to have a short piece that goes right here, and I'm going to put it up here so I can mark it to cut it. I was surprised how easy this stuff cuts. I mean, it really cuts pretty easy. Just a normal cut-off wheel, nothing fancy. And there's a mark and there's a mark. And then I've just got a sander with some wore out sandpaper. And I'll use that to clean up all the metal so there's no sharp edges or burrs. Well, I'll show this one last time. First, you measure where you want the etrack to be. Cut the etrack to the proper length and put it into place. I drilled pilot holes into the wood and also into the square metal tubing behind it. And then the last thing I did was I put metal screws where I knew there was metal cross members and wooden screws using an impact driver set to its lowest impact setting. Well, in reality, this isn't that difficult of a project or a process. It can just be a little time consuming. And because I'm sort of anal retentive with putting the screws in every other spot, it just added to it. I would give the advice of saying, don't just buy some etrack. Go out there and look what you can get. Because for the same price I could have bought, two 10-foot pieces of etrack. I got 8 5-foot pieces and all those other accessories that you need to lock into it. And those prices can really add up when you start buying all the etrack accessories.
Alright, well I'm finishing editing this video and I realized I don't have any final shots of how the etrack actually turned out. Now you have to forgive me, the trailer's complete now, so you'll be able to see what it looks like before I finish it. But I'll have some other videos with all this other stuff in it. Well, here's a better look at some of the accessories that came with that kit I bought with the hooks. And you can see I've got my metal screw and a couple of wood screws and another metal screw. That continues every 16 on center. And it's pretty much the same on both sides. And I'm really glad I put that lower one on there because you can see I've got some other stuff that's already attached lower. Now as we move forward, I'm really glad I ended up painting where the etrack went into those 2 spots on the wall. It really just makes it look a lot more professional. And I also took some of the scraps and added extra pieces on each side. I will probably have a few more videos where I talk about the shelves that I built, the boxes that I built, and of course this really cool lighting system I've gotten here. Because it is bright. I've got it set up using some DeWalt batteries as a power source. But when you turn it off, you can see it really does make a big difference in here. But I'm sure that'll be in another video. Well, there you have it. Hopefully I will inspire you to do some fancy work to your cargo trailers. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Check out my playlist. Check out my other cargo trailer videos. And I'll see you in that next one.